Okay, so like I was saying, on this example 5, we're converting both units, and we're converting from metric to customary. So a couple of hurdles to jump over here. So let's look at that chart that I've given you, the conversion chart, because we want to see how the feet and the kilometers line up. Be this one right here. When you look at it carefully, you might notice a bit of an issue. Anybody see the issue we're having here? Jack? Like there's not a direct conversion there, right? We can get it, and we will get it, but it's not as easy as as you might think initially, because if you look at your conversions here, we've got feet to meters, we've got kilometers to miles, but we don't have any feet to kilometers conversion. So we might have to take a couple of steps to reach our ultimate goal here. So when we look at this problem, let's first focus in on how do we get the kilometers to feet. Well, here's what we'll do. We're going to get rid of kilometers and replace it with a unit of measure that we could convert to feet. And if you look at your table closely here, I think our best bet would be the miles, because we know how to convert miles into feet and feet into miles. We already talked about that. So let's do this, and I'm going to use dimensional analysis from this example right here, and I'd like you to follow me on this. I need a conversion factor that's going to get rid of the kilometers and replace it with miles. And you could have gone another route, but I just chose this one. Brooke? Yeah, if you look in that first section there in the bottom left, 1 mile is approximately 1.609 kilometers. Okay? So, Brooke, where would I put each of those values? The 1.609. Okay. So by doing that, and by putting that strategically the way we have, your kilometers get canceled out. And what we're going to be able to find here is how many miles per hour this is, right? So if you multiply straight across, you get 3 miles in 1.609 hours. I'm just going to pause there to give you time to think about what we just did. All we did was convert one of the units, and we're still not even done with that yet. All right, let's keep going. Let's figure out a way to convert miles to feet. So what conversion factor do we want to use here? Miles to feet. Cameron?
1 mile is 5,280 feet.
Okay, so how would I put 1 mile, 5,280 feet, or 5,280 feet, 1 mile? That's fine. She wasn't here yesterday, so can anybody tell me that was here yesterday? Emily? Good. So 5,280 feet up here. So the miles have canceled. I'm going to have to bring this around out of room here. So take your 5,280 times 3. What do we have on that? May have it for me, Ava? 15,940? 840? And that would be feet and over 1.609 hours. We're getting there. We're good with the distance. Now we got to work on the time. So the time that we need here, we have to convert hours to seconds. So we need a conversion factor here. If you don't remember, we did talk about a conversion between how many seconds there were in an hour. And if you don't remember that, you could always convert the hours into minutes and then minutes into seconds. Max? Top should be 1 hour. You could do it that way. What I was going to say is, how many seconds are there in an hour? We could make this convert. Marion, you know? Yeah, I would say you could kind of just do that on the side and just say, well, I know an hour is equivalent to 3,600 seconds. So Max told us to put the hours in the numerator because now those are gone. And we're finally at that point. If you multiply straight across, you get 15,840 feet. And what's 1.609 times 3,600? May help me out there. You have it, Brooke? .4, and that would be seconds. So now we have feet and seconds. Great. One more step. This goes back to the last section where we were converting into a unit rate. What's the unit rate here? Do you have it, Aiden? 2.73 feet per second. I know it looks like a lot. It can be sort of overwhelming if you just try to take it all in at once, but that's why we went step by step. So let's talk about it. Are there any questions about how we came up with what we did here? Because I want to show you something else. And this is not meant to confuse you, but this is just meant to show you that you didn't have to necessarily go the route that we did. First of all, did anybody have another way you think you could have got it without doing it exactly like that? Because I want to hear from you too. Okay? Nadi, do you want to describe how you did it? Kilometer. Hold on a second. So it's 0.621 miles. Okay? What's that equal? And what does that represent? Like, what does that number mean? So 3 kilometers is equal to the 1.863 miles. That's what you're saying? Okay? So she converted. Good. And this is feet. So this would be how many feet there are in, but like in a distance, would this be equivalent to 3 kilometers? Is that what you're saying? So 9,836.64 feet is equal to or is equivalent to 3 kilometers. So she's just doing these conversions to get, She's got the feet now, which is what we wanted. And this is in an hour, she had said, okay? Hold on a second now. Let me write this down here. 936. You divide by 60, you said? And what was that number again? And that would be feet in a minute. Very good. Notice how she came up with the exact same value that we did there. And perhaps you look at her way and you think, well, I like that way better. I could follow that way. It made more sense to me. Maybe not. Maybe you think the way that I showed you looks better. Maybe you have another way. Does anybody have another way that you're like, my way's easier? Well, your way is always easier if it makes sense to you, right? If it's like, I know how to do it, it makes sense to me, then as long as it works, then great, use it. What I was going to say, I was going to show you a different type of conversion, but Nadia kind of did that. I was going to say, what if we converted it kind of like how she did? And then I think, Max, you had brought up, like you started to convert to minutes first, like we were doing the hours. We could do that. We could make this thing, watch this over here. Let me show you something. I might need your help on this. So I've got 3 kilometers per hour. We said that, what was it, a mile was 1.609 kilometers. Is that what we said? Is that right? I told you I haven't memorized this table either, so you got to work with me on this. Multiplication is commutative. We know that. We can move this thing around in any order. So yeah, we could simplify this and then add another fraction. Or I could just keep going. And I'm going to come up with a series of fractions here that I can multiply. Because now I've got rid of kilometers. And now I'm going to work on converting the miles into feet. So here's what I do. I say 5,280 feet over 1 mile. Now the miles are gone. I'm going to keep going. I got feet where I need it. Check that off. I don't need to do anything with that. But I do need to get rid of this hour. So we know an hour, and I'm going to use the 60 minutes, is equal to 60 minutes. All right, 2 fractions don't have to be next to one another for you to cancel out the units. I can cancel this hours with this hour here as long as they're one's in the numerator, one's in the denominator. I need you to understand that too. They don't have to be right next to one another in order for you to do that. So now I have minutes, and I know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. Now I've got to the point where I have feet, I've got seconds, and I've got all these numbers here that I have to multiply. So if you did this, 3 times 5280, and then this times this times this, and divided them up, you're going to get the same answer that we have here. So if you're following dimensional analysis and you're thinking, okay, I kind of get an idea, or I have an idea of how to use that, you can do them in one long sequence like we did right there. Or you could break it up like we did back here. That's what I tried to do. Sorry. Oop. That's what I tried to do here, was just go one step at a time. Like we did one step, and then we simplified to here. We did this step, and then that simplified to here. We do another step, simplifies to here, and then ultimately that takes us to our final solution. So you could go either way. This produces the same result as that. All right. You guys are mesmerized, I can tell, by the knowledge that you've been granted today. What I'd like you to do, because we're almost out of time. We have a short period today. So underneath there, you have the self-assessment thing. Take a look at those and see which one suits you right now. It might even be 1. Do 1, 2, or 3.